Hey everybody, welcome to Keep Austin Film, Episode 5. Joining me today is Sasha Boggs, actress, producer, writer extraordinaire.
Extraordinaire, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe you could introduce yourself a little bit better than I could and kind of let the audience know who you are.
Oh, that was pretty great. I mean, I do wear many hats. I'm sure that's kind of what everybody says. But yeah, I do a little bit of everything. Right now, mainly producing for Dollars and Donuts Productions.
Dollars or donuts?
Dollars and Donuts.
Dollars and Donuts.
And then when you write it, it's an ampersand.
Gotcha. Okay, copy that. So sometimes I've seen you holding a boom and a mixer. Is that just for the gram, or
that's for torture? Daryl Della is the CEO, the man behind everything, the helm. But it's usually when we don't have a lot of help, it's everybody does everything. So I will occasionally pick up a boom mic and always not catch the butterflies. You know how they always say, pretend like you're catching butterflies out of someone's mouth? And I'm like,
I've never heard that, but I like it. It seems like a weird way to get audio, but I think it probably works.
Yeah.
I just imagine a boom op running around, not just like holding it right where the person's mouth is. But what I like about that is that you're just willing to pick up the slack wherever it needs to be picked up and just do it. Some people are a little too precious about the role on set.
Oh yeah, like oh, you can't move that. You're not in the cup department.
Yeah,
you know, like,
exactly. Or like that's not my job. I'm not doing that, which is not the great attitude either.
Yeah, it's silly.
Cool. So you mentioned Dollars and Donuts. How long have you been with them?
9 years.
Okay.
Started as an actress, moved my way through the ranks, and now I'm producing. I also co-write sometimes, and I guess kind of like acting coach a little bit on set. And sometimes Daryl will be like vigorously doing 1,000 things, and I'm like, why don't you put an elephant in the background? You know, one of those really annoying suggestions. And 9 times out of 10, they're not taken into account. And other times it's like, I just made the film way, way cooler. So. And
Daryl, he is the president of.
He is the president.
Okay.
He is the monarch. He is everything. No, he started this company in high school. He's been making films for over 22 years. He edits, writes, films, produces, CGI. You never know. Every time you think that's blood, it's not. He put it in there. You know, clouds, birds. Everything. There's nothing that's outsourced. He does everything. And it's like, people are always thinking there's another person. Like, no, it's all him. He's literally doing every single thing. So even a little bit of sound mixing and some voiceover. And sometimes those are his hands, not the actor's hands. So everything.
So how did you two come into each other's orbit?
He was making a kind of a suspenseful noir back in San Francisco when he lived there, and I was living in LA, and there was an actor that I worked with at a restaurant, and he was already cast, and they needed an actress. Daryl did not want to hire me because at the time I had very, very short hair, short pixie haircut, which all girls go through that phase, and I think I pull it off pretty well. Anyways, Daryl reluctantly hired me. And then when I got there, nothing I could do, he threw a wig on me and made me wear the wig for the entire time. And it was very, very nice. And we all kind of just really meshed well. It's like we're big musical Disney fans. We also like horror and action. So it's the genres that aren't together very often. So clicked immediately, kept putting me in stuff. And then every once in a while on set, I'd choreograph something or help with like the backstage kind of part of it, and just kind of been growing there.
Awesome. So Dollars and Donuts, this is kind of the first time I'm hearing about it since you and I have been talking about being part of this podcast together. Could you describe to me kind of what Dollars and Donuts is aiming to achieve? Is it all film? Is it commercial? Is there a specific style?
You know, melancholy masculinity. It's not represented enough. No, we love a little bit of everything. It's so hard to answer that. Like, what type of films do you like? Because we're very heavily influenced by older films, everything from like the silent era, from the 70s to like action blockbusters in the 90s. And then we just try to mesh it all together. Mm-hmm. So if you look at our archival history on the Dollars and Donuts website, there's everything from like jackass videos that he started in high school to like really, really dark comedies to Oh God, I just every single thing. And then when you're watching these genre films, you'll always have an unexpected moment, and you're like, well, this is a comedy, there shouldn't be horror. This is a horror, there shouldn't be love. And it's not. We never want to just do one thing. We'd have too many ideas, too many themes, too many character arcs.
Okay. That's awesome. I can't wait to see some of the films that you've put out. And I hear that you have one coming up soon
Yes.
that y'all are going to be working on.
Yes.
Can you tell me anything about that, or is it too soon?
No, my gosh, please tell the world. Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface, coming to your phone near you anytime. We made Ninja Killface, which was a big passion project because Daryl made that in high school. So then we got to remake it 20 years later, and it was insane. Like, I wasn't even there, but he has all the footage from the original Ninja Killface, and then we got to recast it and like with better actors, better fight sequence, and it was really, really cool. The best part I have to tell you is, we're a little bit older than 27, and there was a flip phone in the original Ninja Killface. So when we showed it at our premiere, we showed the original Ninja Killface and then the new Ninja Killface. And when the flip phone came out, all these little 20-year-old Austin filmmakers were like, what is that? Oh my God. I'm missing a nail. But it was such a great collective human moment for everyone to be like, time, humans, when we were young. And like, when you look at our website, you can see how we've grown, and everything from the editing, directing, writing, it's just the acting. It's just really cool to see. So we did Ninja Killface, and then we just recently finished Frank Barnett, and that was amazing. We had P. Michael Hayes as our Frank Barnett, and it was another remake. So now, what do? You get two action heroes, you make them fight, like Freddy versus Jason. So that's what we're going to do, and that's what we're doing in this film. But we're bringing a lot of people back from other films that we've done, and we had this whole Dollars and Donuts universe, and people all get these character arcs, and it's like you don't even have to watch all the lore because every character has something that they're overcoming, and it's very, very relatable. And it's just, but of course at the center of it, it's action packed, which it's been a whole new thing, doing a lot of action and fight choreography and guns. Love guns. So.
Well, that sounds really exciting. Are you going to be shooting it all here in Austin?
Yes, we shoot everywhere, all over the country.
Yeah.
But yes, we're going to be shooting here. We have another producer, Dakota Millette. Is that how you say that? He's a little French. Oh, you know Dakota. Oh, yeah. Everyone knows Dakota. Everyone loves Dakota. Yeah. We love Dakota. He has some connections at Star Hill Ranch, so we'll be shooting a little bit there. We're kind of, I don't want to say renegade filmmaking, but we'll run out of the car and be like, hey, gas station attendant, can we film here? And people are like, sure. So sometimes we get locations like that. But we'll be shooting in Austin. We've shot a little bit in Los Angeles and a little bit in San Francisco already.
Perfect. So you're based out of Austin as well, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so I did a little bit of research on you. I saw that you're born in North Carolina, moved to Los Angeles, or California rather.
Yes.
Were you in Los Angeles or just all over?
Los Angeles.
Los Angeles. So then how did you end up here in Austin, Texas?
I just couldn't take anymore, Stephen. All right, it was getting to me. I was going crazy. I thought I was going to just die in my LA apartment with a cat, and I don't even have cats, So, COVID ruined everything, and everybody was moving out, and I was in a very weird predicament. I was a personal assistant to Tom Arnold, and I got to go do some cool stuff and do a lot of stand-up with him, but mostly I was doing childcare. So, I just was tired of LA's red tape, and I wanted to go to Austin because I was flying out almost monthly to shoot films, and I was like, what am I doing? Mm-hmm. So. Yeah.
Well, the title of the podcast is Keep Austin Film, and it's kind of based on this idea that Austin's the place to be right now for film.
It is. Hell yeah.
We just had this incentive pass, which is good news for Texas, hopefully for Austin.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited that you and Dollars and Donuts are here in Texas because I think that you kind of believe in that.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Everyone here is just, not to sound corny, but everyone here just really loves making films. And people are willing to hop on whatever project and support whatever project. In LA, it's like, oh, yeah, I'll see you at the you never see them ever. And here, people keep their word, and they really put a lot of work in, and it's very, very friendly and very easy to work with.
There's no Film LA in Austin, which to me is probably the best godsend.
There's no what?
Film LA.
Oh.
Have you ever had, if you've ever had Film LA on your set, you'll know it's not something you want.
Oh, gosh, no.
They're like the police, making sure that you do like everything exactly to the book, and they just sit there and hover over your shoulder the whole time and just make the whole thing more expensive.
They'd put us in jail for the way we make movies, so no, we won't be having that. Good.
Awesome. So I just want to go back to the film for a second, because I also understand that this is your first feature.
It is! Isn't that exciting?
It is exciting.
Oh my gosh. I don't know, people throw around feature all the time, but we've made all different lengths, and a lot of our short films are pretty lengthy, and it's hard to put those in festivals. But yeah, this is our first feature film, Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface. First feature film for Dollars and Donuts Productions. If you need to use that as a soundbite, might look a little crazy, but yeah, very, very exciting. So exciting. And it's so weird. Everyone's like, "Oh, it's a feature." Oh my God! It's like you're having a newborn baby, Okay. So that's fun to say to people.
Yeah.
I'm having a baby.
You're crowdfunding the whole thing?
We are using Seed and Spark, and we are launching on July 30th. And
ooh, that's coming up quick.
Yeah. So can you get this up tonight?
Yeah, sooner than later.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. No, that's got to be fun, but also a little bit daunting, right? Have you experienced that before, the crowdfunding process?
We have. We shot a movie secretly in Disneyland called MICU, which is also on our website. You can check that out. And we used a crowdfunding website. We used Kickstarter. And that was a pretty fun experience. We had an angel investor that jumped in right at the beginning, and then after that, people hear Disneyland and everyone wanted to jump on board. But this is a little bit scarier. So please be kind to us, Seed and Spark, and everybody around us. So.
Do you have any strategies, or you have a little bit of history with this? Do you have any kind of advice for anybody might watching as to how to go about a successful campaign?
A successful campaign.
Have an angel investor?
Yeah, well, a friend of a friend of a friend. I think people just can sniff out sincerity. And everyone's going to tell you the same thing about social media and how many times to post and when to post. But if you can bring something unique to the table, I think that's what's going to catch people's eye. And then, hopefully an angel investor out there is floating by.
So what do you think it is about Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface that's going to catch people's eye?
Well, gosh, so many things. I mean, it's at the center of this big, crazy, multi-universe action film. There is real character arcs, and there's real challenges and real humanizing universal themes that everybody goes through. One of them is just basically coming to terms with your father or your father figure that's in your life, and figuring out who you are, but also surpassing them in a way, because it's like when you're under someone's shadow your whole life, you act a certain way, you become a certain way, and a lot of people have to evolve past that. Women, men, it's like you need to take control of your own life. So even though we have crazy interdimensional beings that are coming in and out of this, and an amazing fight scene, at the heart of it, it's everyone is trying to push past their own demons, their own insecurities, and letting go of the past and not letting it rewrite your future.
You had me at crazy interdimensional beings, Lead with that.
All right, then I'll get rid of all the heart stuff.
Yeah. Forget all that. Crazy interdimensional beings. That sounds cool. Ninja Killface. I get the vibe from the title that it's just going to be over the top.
Yeah.
And so that's exciting. That's what I think where indie cinema kind of thrives a lot of times, is just you're allowed to do things that the studios just can't do.
Yeah.
And so,
we do whatever we want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people this backdrop of this interdimensional beings and incredible fight sequences, and I can't even list all the crazy terminology that Daryl Dello probably would like me to remember right now. But yeah, because we're not Hollywood, because we don't have rules to follow, we can do whatever we want, and we do. I don't know how. You throw a green screen up and it happens. Or you just like, right before someone gets on camera, you're like, oh, you're a bird. You know, I mean, like, who knows? We can do anything.
Yeah.
So why not? Why make another movie sitting on a park bench or in your roommate's apartment? Like, ugh. Cut that out because everyone's short film is about that.
Yeah,
but you know
you
what
just,
I mean.
you just
I just
mad
excluded
dog
everybody.
like that.
There's some great park benches. I will say, I'm like, oh, another park bench. And then I'm like, that's a good park bench.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they'll understand. You know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. So you're here in Austin. You're making films. You get this feature coming up. I'm curious if you have any ideas as to like what might be holding Austin back from becoming the next destination when it comes to filmmaking here. You know, do you have any thoughts on that?
Insurance. Why does everyone want insurance? Who cares,
Insurance.
right? Like, oh, location insurance. Oh, health insurance. You know, just run out there in the street and do it. You know.
Okay, you piqued my interest. That's the first time I've gotten that answer, and I'm curious. What do you mean by that?
No, I don't know. I just like it's by the book stuff. I don't really like. I haven't worked on a lot of sets besides just Dollars and Donuts, and it's we've been very, very thankful because we really do utilize the community. You know, like we travel past a bar or we travel past a gas station. We go in there, we talk to the people, we talk to the owner, and either they've had it 1,000 times or they've never done it. And then we remember people. You know, we'll like Instagram hunt, Facebook hunt, pretty women, and then we'll like keep them in the back of our minds, and we really use all the resources. We don't like just. You know, we have done like, you know, post on Backstage or hold an audition or something, but we really we get depressed if we don't film. We have to film, you know, or else what are we doing, you know? So I don't know. If there's any regulations, maybe that's the only thing that's holding Austin back. But I really have not been out here long enough to give you a serious answer on that.
Well, the reason I ask you that question is because I know you've got a background as an actress, and are you represented?
No, I think I just got dropped, actually.
Oh,
so.
sorry. Sore subject.
No, not at all.
You're at freedom. Well, this is going to be more unpopular opinion, but I think that one of the things we really need out here is like more agents and managers.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Which a lot of people don't like when I say that, but I think that these are people who kind of like make things happen. And a lot of times, you know, I run a writers group, and you get this feeling that people, as soon as they kind of make it, they're off to another destination. So it's like, we kind of need to bring the people here where you don't have to go there.
Absolutely,
you know what I mean?
agree with you.
Yeah.
I met an Austin agent for the first time. It was weird. It's like, I act like I came from another country or something. But, you know, in LA, it's like you live there for so long, you know where all the agents are, where all the managers are and stuff. And I met just a couple out here, and it's very like mom and pop, and it's not like in LA where you know can't even get into the building without the secret code. Everything's just like hidden. It's very, very annoying. But yeah, I think that's a really great thing to get more of those people out here, because so many people that we work with are like, oh, I'm flying to Atlanta or I'm flying to LA. They constantly are leaving Texas. So let's make it the Mecca. Right?
Yeah.
So that's a good place to start.
It's a dream, right? Well, cool. So you mentioned the community when it comes to filmmaking, and I think for me, you know, when I moved to Austin, I planned to spend the winter out here and then go back to LA.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I was just like, I just didn't want to do another COVID winter in LA. So, but what kept me here was that film community that I met and the people that are actually out here making things happen, the talent that's out here. Maybe you can talk a little bit to that, what your experience has been like filmmaking with the Austin community.
Oh, man. I mean, so Daryl moved out here first before it got popular, because you remember when everyone got annoyed with all the like go back to California kind of stuff. But he started going to this ATX Showcase Festival monthly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it.
Oh yeah.
And just like I just remember him telling me about it for the first time, and just immediately met people, and it didn't feel like the heaviness of when you say the word networking or anything. It was just like, oh, you'd be good for this, well, you'd be good for that, and people exchanging, and it was tangible for the first time, you know. It wasn't people behind screens, and people actually left their homes. So yeah, it's been absolutely wonderful, and we've met so many great friends, and then that person then ends up like suggesting another person, whether, thank God, someone else for sound, because you don't want me on your set ever doing sound. But then you just like, it's weird. It's like everyone's a conduit to like a whole nother world. And at one point, you know, Daryl and I were talking, and it was like, there's all these little mini production companies out here, and it's like, it felt like we're in the middle of a movement. You know, it felt like There's a documentary called like Echoes in the Canyon, and it's about all these different bands that were living in Laurel Canyon during like the 60s in California, like Beach Boys, Mamas and Papas, and how they were all influencing each other. And that's what it started to feel like. And this last shoot that we did for Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface, we had all these great fighters, like the best fighters and fight choreographers from Austin. And it was like just stand back for a second. You're like, are we in a moment in time? You know, like, is this the time where all these guys who go off and do these like Van Damme movies or whatever, I don't know, a lot of action movies, they come back like, oh yeah, I was in a Dollars and Donuts production movie, you know? And it's like, that's gonna be, it just felt so tangible. It felt, again, I use that word again, oh my God. It felt like this eerie, you're watching history, but you're in history at the same time. If that makes sense.
Absolutely. It's funny because every time I ask that question, people bring up the ATX Short Film Showcase. Okay. So I think that is something that if you're not going to or attending, you need to start, because it is, it is the networking thing to do here in Austin. It's really great. You can see, what the filmmakers are creating firsthand, and then you go talk to them right afterwards.
Yeah.
There's no gatekeeper.
Yeah, we've collaborated with so many people from there, and people that weren't even in Austin. We didn't even realize. We ended up just like loving somebody's short so much that we messaged them on Instagram, like, we'd love to do a short with you, and then the next thing we know, we were in Chicago. Is that Chicago? Ohio. Ohio.
So you told me that you just got back from San Francisco.
Yeah.
What were you doing out there?
Oh, man. Filming a scene. We like piecemeal most of our stuff because we just can't afford or don't have enough time to shoot everything in 1 week. I don't even know what that would look like. We do things every weekend for like a couple months. So it's very expensive to fly with a lot of gear. So we load up the 4Runner and we do 19 hours to LA or 23 hours to San Francisco, because a lot of our friends are jerks and they won't come to Austin because it's too hot. But they're part of the legacy. They're part of the Dollars and Donuts universe, and we have to have them in the movie. Right. So we, but also it's like, what are we going to do? Watch Netflix? Like, let's get in the damn car and drive halfway across the country because we have to, And a lot of people might be like, oh, well, why don't you just shoot with somebody else or find a different location? And it's like, no, we're not going to do that.
That's impressive. I've done that drive, and I feel like the hardest part is just getting out of Texas.
Oh my God. And when you come back, you're like, oh, I made it to Texas. And it's like, oh no, Texas is like a country. It's awful. They need more. When we get the agents and managers back here, Stephen, let's get some roadside attractions, because it is so boring. I hate it.
You don't like miles and miles of just cedar trees? So, okay, cool. Sorry, I mean, that's my thing,
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's okay. You don't like people who make films on benches, and you don't like people who like cedar trees. I get it.
Sasha Boggs.
Yeah.
The biggest
Make sure you
bitch
go
in
and
Austin.
donate to...
Cut that. I need people to like me. It's hard.
No, you're great. So, okay, I'm curious that, you've got this feature coming up. Do you have anything else going on that you want the folks at home to know about?
Probably no. We want to focus on this, but now we're always doing 4 things at once.
Okay.
We're like, we had a script reading the other night. Would you want me to go into that? It's called Women or The Women. Something like that. Anyways, it's going to be a bunch of women, an all-female cast, which I don't think we've ever had before, and bloody horror, dark comedy shtick.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, and then road comedy might be coming. We finished 5 Days to Live last year at the same time as Frank Barnett. So like when there's like an off couple weekends with one short, we start another one, and then sometimes things just happen out of nowhere, where we'll just be like talking about something and I'll tell Daryl a joke, and then next thing I know, he's writing the script and he's taken my joke and actually formulated it and put it into like a way that it's not just one joke, it's an entire little short that has a message. And I'm like, oh my God. And then we just go into the garage and film that, and then that's done. So we had 6 shorts. We have an annual premiere every year, and we'll have our big feature film, and then like a medium one, and then fun little ones that good for the internet, good for the gander on there. I don't know if, did you see Dream Phone?
I haven't seen it.
Oh
I
my
want
God.
to go to this premiere though.
I'm so good in Dream Phone. You need to watch Dream Phone.
When is this annual premiere?
Well, he's been holding it. How many years have you been holding it, Daryl? 12 years. So they would have it annually in San Francisco.
Okay.
And I would fly up for those. That was incredible. Like, everybody gets up and they get dressed in tuxedos and formal gowns, and we go to a movie theater and we watch it, and then have a great big crazy party that takes us days to recover from. So we have had 2 at the AFS Cinema here in Austin.
Nice.
And people like don't really know what to expect, but we have a ball. We throw a ball, and it was like this last one at the AFS Cinema, we replicated one of our sets. And Frank Barnett, his assistant Harvey Weebs, has an office, and we recreated it at the AFS Cinema and made it like a little, place to take pictures and stuff. And it's all like, you got like a 70s Playboy up, and a Kit Kat clock on the wall, and people are like, they just, sometimes people like inundated with too much, and it's too crazy. But after they saw the movie, they came out and they were like, wow. We had custom-made flip books, and then we went to Busty's afterward. Have you been to Busty's?
Never
I'm like
even
plugging
heard of
Busty's.
Busty's.
Busty's is a really cool 70s bar. We love like 70s style aesthetic. It's a fun era to go back to, especially for film. But yeah, you got to come to the premiere. Hopefully we have another one. They are very hard to pull off. They're like our annual thing.
So we've talked a lot about Dollars and Donuts Productions. We've talked a lot about the film coming up, but I'm curious to learn more about you. Could you tell me a little bit more about your background in film, how you got into it, and where you're going?
Sure. Oh God, I'll try to do it in like the saddest, quickest sentence ever. Theater geek in high school, college dropout. Then I drove to Los Angeles from Raleigh, North Carolina, back to Los Angeles, and I attended the American Academy of Dramatic Arts. And I went to the 2-year conservatory. Then I did their 3rd year, where I just did plays. I don't really know what you would call that. I should know. Third part of the conservatory. Then I stomped around LA, not really figuring it out, trying to audition for short films at UCLA or whatever. And then I started doing stand-up, just because it kind of came naturally, because I do a lot of plays that were comedic. And then from stand-up, I got some representation, and I missed that theater group for so long. And then you're on your own, and then you get to auditions, and it's like, show us your hands, show us your profile. I got this close to getting one of those Priceline negotiator commercials, but I was in a bad mood that day. So when they made me do it like 7 times in a row, I was like, oh, you got it? I was like, dang, man, I have no patience at all. But when I started doing films with Dollars and Donuts, I felt so cool, because it's like, you're in LA, you're working at a restaurant, you're depressed, you never get to act. And then I started flying up to San Francisco all the time and doing theirs. And I, weirdly enough, work begets work. I booked American Horror Story, and I got my first little co-star on there.
Wow. And
that was a really wow. I have this big film premiere coming up for a short film I just did, and then I did American Horror Story. I also had a featured extra role in Project X, which again, didn't really enjoy it, because I thought it was just another short film with a really bad title. And I showed up and I was like, oh, pretty cool. And everyone kept talking about a party. But it wasn't until the movie came out and people were like, Sasha, you're in this movie. And I was like, what? So that's, every once in a while I'll get a little screenshot of my face in that movie. And
that's great.
yeah, so I got to do a couple things. And then I started working for Tom Arnold. And we had a podcast for a while, and then I got to open for him at some stand-up shows, and so yeah, that's just a little bit of everything.
That's incredible. I remember watching Project X when it came out. I'll have to rewatch it now to see your face in it. And then, which season of American Horror Story are you on?
Worst season.
The worst season?
Yeah, it's when he had blue hair and it was all political. It wasn't like fun. There was no witches or ghosts or anything. It was just like,
We'll still have to go watch it and see. But
yeah, no, it was cool. It was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, I got to be in a scene with Evan Peters, and I always tell people this. It was like, oh, I thought I knew what acting was. He walks into the room and it was like I could feel the energy before he even walked in. I was like, oh, that's acting. Like, that's insane, you know? So that was really cool. And everyone kept talking about Kathy. Kathy was supposed to direct this scene, and turned out they were saying that Kathy Bates was supposed to direct the scene. So it's like, I've been very close to a lot of really cool things, and I've done a lot of really cool things. But yeah, it's, you know, I was a huge fan of American Horror Story. And the way I got that job is I went on the wrong day, which, you know, usually is not in my favor. But that day I was like the only person, like, I guess we'll see you. And then this mug, got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So before we end these podcasts, I always like to ask if you have any advice to maybe new filmmakers or maybe people who are new to Austin, what you might say to somebody who's watching at home, trying to break into the industry out here.
Pretty standard advice, which is just don't wait for the right conditions. You know, write the script even if it's not perfect. Grab the camera even if it's not the right lens. But get people that you're surrounded with that are just like, yeah, we'll figure it out. Like, that should just be at the helm of everything, because there's nothing worse than having a project on the back burner for years. And you know, it just weighs on you, and it's heavy, and it's just not a fun feeling. So it's like, don't do what we do and travel across the country and make something every weekend and, you know, looking at your credit card bills. But do it, because these are not just movies, they're time markers for your life. You know what I mean? It's like, I'll be like, what was I doing during MICU? And I look back and I'm like, oh God, that haircut, you know. But it's they're just like photo books for your life. So it's really important to follow through with things, because, you know, it's why I cringe when I have to say I'm a actor, comedian, producer, you know, storyteller. But it's, you know, if you can put your money where your mouth is, if you just do what you say and actually do it, you know. And that's been so great working with Daryl, because it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this thing, and people are like, oh okay, and then the next week it's done. We do what we say. So that's my main message, because as someone that sat on the sidelines for so long, it's like there's no more time to waste.
Speaking of, okay, so that was supposed to be my last question, but I could probably ask you questions all night. One more from me. Yeah. I'm a writer who struggles with writing quickly. And it sounds like if you're making something every other weekend that you got to write pretty fast. What's the process like for you, and what do you recommend to people like me who just can't seem to ever call it done?
Well, to quote my father, let me ask you this. Are you having trouble with the framework of the story or the dialogue?
Oh, you're asking me?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, just perfectionism, you know?
Just all around perfectionism.
Yeah, it's never good enough.
There's a couple of like cheat ways. Not cheat ways, but it's like, for dialogue, I like to make like a dialogue tree. So when you're writing people's dialogues, you have to also be able to write the subtext right underneath it. And if you don't know the subtext, then it's going to show. So then it can tighten there. For the framework of it, you know, if you're able to explain it to a family member or a friend, if that comes naturally, then I think you're in a good spot. But the biggest help is getting it on its feet, just hearing it. That will, like, and just getting over the fact of whether or not you feel okay about it or not. It's just like, we will have Zooms, we'll have old high school teachers on there or whatever, and just to hear the characters, hear the cadence, and you can just make notes during that, and it's really, really helpful, and I think it expedites it, so you don't have to worry about perfectionism.
That's great advice. So if you're listening at home, make sure to take that to heart. For the folks at home watching, how can they keep up with you, follow what's going on, see more about Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface?
Yeah, you can follow us on Instagram, Dollars and Donuts, website, Dollars and Donuts Productions. Sign up for our Seed and Spark. If you go to our Instagram, there's a link there, and it leads you right to our page, our Seed and Spark page, and we'll be posting monthly updates. And if you are in the cool group, might get sent some exclusive things. We have so much behind-the-scenes footage. And so many people are involved, probably your friends. So you really, this is a very, very exciting time, and you know, I'll try to get on the old TikTok, you know, see But Instagram and Facebook is where it's at. And Seed Spark is going to be the main page where you can help us out and support us and be a part of this, because being a part of it is really cool. There's even, if you give a certain amount of money, we have a guy that will tattoo your face on his body. I am not joking, Steven. We will get your face tattooed on Becker von Felsberg's body, and you can quote me on that.
Wow. We'll have to get him on to see the tattoo afterwards. Well, I just want to say thank you, Sasha, for coming out and being part of the podcast, episode 5. Make sure you go out to the Seed and Spark. Check out Frank Barnett versus Ninja Killface.
Please.
It's going to be epic. You know it. So make sure you go and donate and check out the really cool perks. Get your face tattooed on that gentleman.
Yes. Hollis Edwards III, P. Michael II. We only work with actors who are second or third in line in their family.
Okay. Well, there you go. So that's the tip for if you want to get cast in their next project. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, folks, and we'll see you on the next one.
Okay, Killface. You've taken my pawns, but now you face the king.
There's no sign of Killface before or after.
What was that?
Like a ghost did it.
Or someone who knows when to move like one.
Frank Barnett.
Detective Hickey. You're the pariah now, aren't you?
I'm gonna touch you, I'm gonna fucking break you.
Cold-blooded justice has a way of turning the tables.
You stupid pigs. You think you can frame me? My prints aren't at anything.
I'm gonna fix that.
Sometimes, detective, you gotta stir the ashes to find the embers.
This isn't what I was taught to do with my skills. It was what I'm hired to do.
Do you even know who you're fighting for?
You never know the depths you can sink to.
Till you take the plunge. My name is Ninja Killface.
Bruce Cummings killed my parents.
If you're looking for Bruce, you're not just crossing jurisdictions, you're crossing the cosmos.
One step closer, Barnett.
Why would he kidnap his own daughter? Put her in harm's way for what?
This is how it goes. We make the rules, they follow them.
As long as you're in my city, I'm gonna be watching you every second of every day.
Before he vanished, he whispered something about a kingpin's downfall and a ninja's blood feud, setting the stage for hell on Earth.
Killface, he's the best at this.
He gets away again. Or we bleed out in the dirt. Broken-hearted and dead.
Just so you know, you're not just doing this for me. You're doing it for Lily.
I know.